it's Patrick Hutzel from IntensiveCareHotline.com, where we instantly improve the lives for families of critically ill patients in intensive care, so that you can make informed decisions, have peace of mind, real power, real control, and so that you can influence decision making fast, even if you're not a doctor or a nurse in intensive care. In the last blog, I talked about how to talk to the intensive care team with impact and a big thank you. You can check out last week's blog by clicking on the link below this video. In this week's blog, I want to talk about when your loved one's critically ill in intensive care, are you still feeling powerless? Before I get into today's topic, I want to share a quote with you that I wrote on today's topic, and the quote says, "The reason why most families in intensive care feel powerless when their loved one is critically ill, and why they don't get the results that they want, is in how they view themselves." It's rather simple. People think of themselves as powerless human beings, and therefore they think, act, and speak in ways that are congruent in how they view themselves. This worldview and view of themselves is detrimental when it comes to dealing with such a major and once-in-a-lifetime challenge when your loved one is critically ill in intensive care. Your views about yourself and the world are often in conflict with your goals, dreams, visions, and the results that you want to get for you and your family. This limited and often negative view about yourself and the world makes it prohibitive for you to step forward, be confident, and go for what you want in unapologetic ways. People tend to do more to avoid pain and discomfort than to gain pleasure and success. Therefore, you must become highly aware of your own self-talk and your own self-image. The first step to get the outcomes and results in life that you want and deserve is to look at your own behavior, your own self-talk, and any limiting beliefs you may have. Once you have come clear of your own limitations and how you can overcome them, then it's time to look at what you want and why you want it. From there onwards, everything you do, say, or don't say must be congruent with what you want, period. This must also be evident in your body language, and you must display good and strong body language, especially when you are dealing with the intensive care team. To get the results that you want and deserve, you must put your best foot forward, irrespective of the challenges and difficulties you are currently facing, because that is what successful people do in any area of their life, period. So, let's get into today's topic. When I talk to my clients and customers over the phone, Skype, or via email, especially when people make contact for the first time, I can always hear in the tone of their voice, or even in the tone of their email, that they are at their wits' end, that they are scared, intimidated, and that they don't know what to do. They need help, but they don't know where to start. And that's okay. We are, and we have all been in situations in life where reaching out for help is the right thing and the only thing to do. One of the things that I hear over and over again from families of critically ill patients in intensive care is that they feel powerless and intimidated. And of course you do. I get it. The intensive care team is running the show. They are driving the bus, and you have no idea what they are doing and what they are saying. Again, I get it. and I have seen it over and over again. I know that unless you have experience or insights into intensive care, it all makes little or no sense. But here's the thing, you can't really put your head in the sand and not make the effort to get a handle on things. You can't just put all the responsibility back to the intensive care team and let them do their thing. That's a big mistake. What you really need is a crash course about what's happening in intensive care, so that you can make informed decisions, get peace of mind, get control, get power, and get influence. Most people that come to my website and approach me directly via Skype, the phone, or via email have a loved one that's in one of the following difficult, challenging, and often heartbreaking situations. When they're approaching me, their loved one is either very unstable and in a very critical condition, or their loved one is in a life-threatening situation, or their loved one is not waking up after an induced coma, or their loved one may be in intensive care for long-term treatment and long-term stays, including long-term ventilation, or their loved one may be having a severe or traumatic brain or head injury. Sometimes their loved one is threatened with an NFR, not for resuscitation, or DNR, do not resuscitate order. On top of that, their loved one may often be in a situation where the intensive care team suggests a withdrawal of treatment or a limitation of treatment as being quote unquote in the best interest of their critically ill loved one. Or they may even be facing the worst case scenario because their loved one is approaching their end of life in intensive care. In any of those situations, therefore, you and your family would feel powerless. That's normal. But your job really is to find a strategy that works in those difficult, challenging, and heartbreaking situations. The intensive care team is so used to getting what they want that they barely notice your vain attempts in speaking up. They'll shoot you down in no time with their perceived power and their perceived authority. They are conditioned to shoot you down, and you are conditioned to let them shoot you down. Therefore, you need to pick yourself up, wipe the dust off your face, and do things very differently compared to the 99% of the families critically ill patients in intensive care who don't make informed decisions, who don't get peace of mind. They don't get control, they don't get power, and neither do they get influence. How do I know? You may wonder, who's this guy? What's he talking about? Well, after more than 15 years intensive care nursing in 3 different countries, where I literally worked with thousands of critically ill patients and their families, as well as working with clients one-on-one in my counseling and consulting, I know I have seen my fair share of struggles that families in intensive care are going through, and I was successfully able to help them. I have also worked as a nurse unit manager in intensive care for more than 5 years, and I have gotten enough insights into the world that is intensive care so that I can confidently say that I can help you and your family, no matter how difficult the situation. Your strategy is to discover the things about the critical illness of your loved one very quickly, and then determine the outcome that you want. Do just that, and you're a million miles ahead of the 99% of the families in intensive care who don't make informed decisions, don't get peace of mind, don't have control, don't have power, and don't have influence. There is plenty of free information on my blog where you can learn the things that you need to learn in order to make informed decisions, get peace of mind, get control, get power, and get influence very quickly. And if you feel like the free information isn't enough, or if you feel like you need to take a shortcut, you can always contact me via email. Send it to support@intensivecarehotline.com or call me on 415-915-0090 in North America. You can contact me on 03-8658-2138 in Australia or New Zealand, or you can contact me in the UK and Ireland on 0118-324-3018, or you can contact me via Skype, patrick.hutzel. There's plenty of opportunity to get in contact with me if you want to. You can check out again our contacts tab for those international phone numbers. But in any case, if you are prepared to just change a few things compared to the 99% of the families of critically ill patients in intensive care who don't make informed decisions, who don't get peace of mind, don't get control, power and influence, you will reap the rewards, that's for sure. No matter the situation, the worst thing you can do is put your head in the sand, lose hope and not go after what you want. Be difficult and demanding with the intensive care team, because you, your family and your critically ill loved one deserve the best only. So, how can you become the best advocate for your critically ill loved one, make informed decisions, get peace of mind, control, power and influence quickly whilst your loved one is critically ill in intensive care? You get to that all-important feeling of making informed decisions, get peace of mind, control, power and influence when you download your free instant impact report now by entering your email below. In your free instant impact report, you learn quickly how to make informed decisions, get peace of mind, real power, real control, and how you can influence decision making fast whilst your loved one is critically ill in intensive care. Your free instant impact report gives you in-depth insight that you must know whilst your loved one is critically ill or is even dying in intensive care. Sign up and download your free instant impact report now by entering your email below. In your free instant impact report, you learn how to speak the secret intensive care language, so that the doctors and the nurses know straight away that you are an insider and that you know and understand what's really happening in intensive care. In your free report, you will also discover how to ask the doctors and the nurses the right questions, discover the many competing interests in intensive care, and how your critically ill loved one's treatment may depend on those competing interests. How to eliminate fear, frustration, stress, struggle and vulnerability even if your loved one is dying. You get 5 mind-blowing tips and strategies helping you to get on the right path to peace of mind, control, power and influence in your situation. You'll get real-world examples that you can easily adapt to your critically ill loved one's situation. How to stop being intimidated by the intensive care team and how you will be seen as equals. You'll get crucial behind-the-scenes insight so that you know and understand what's really happening in intensive care and how you need to manage doctors and nurses in intensive care, and it's not what you think. Thank you for tuning into this week's blog, and I'll see you again in another update next week. Make sure you also check out our Your Questions Answered section, where I answer your questions, or send me an email to support@intensivecarehotline.com with your questions. Or you can call me, find international phone numbers on the Contacts tab. Also check out our ebook section, where you get more ebooks, videos and audio recordings, and where you can also get one-on-one counseling and consulting with me via Skype over the phone and via email by clicking on the email and phone counseling tabs on the top of the website. This is Patrick Hutzel from IntensiveCareHotline.com, and I'll see you again next week in another update.